Super Earth! We march towards war, we feel pain no more. Death follows our path, enemies know our wrath. We are guardians to some, death we have become. We will show no mercy, many perish on our journey. We are guardians of war. We march with our corpse. We follow our father's steps. The great war we reflect. We are guardians of war. We march with our corpse. We follow our father's steps. The great war we reflect.
Good evening, Chunchurd Scrappers. That was Guardians of War by Stormtrooper 115, whose dark sound and aggressive nature I feel is appropriate, given the offensive nature of the currently ongoing Major Order. I also feel it is appropriate because, as I understand it, Stormtrooper 115 leads a dedicated bot diver regiment who knows the Western Front like the back of their hands, though I am assured that they will lend the TQC a hand when the situation calls for it. These guys are oil-spilling maniacs. I hear they didn't even have to redeploy when the Major Order kicked off. They were already here. They are the Federation's elite. They are Super Earth's deadliest helldivers. They are the Guardians of War. The news on the galactic sphere is very good tonight. The Terminids have entered a state of temporary dormancy caused by such a significant loss of life. They're basically sulking in their quarantine zone, licking their wounds and casting hateful glances our way. On the Western Front, the vaunted orbital defense grid we were warned about has already been disabled following the emancipation of Coopessa 4. It really drives home the fact that while our robotic adversaries are numerous and their industries are rather impressive, their technology kind of sucks and is prone to technical failure. With Coopessa secured, granting us a decent foothold of the deeper Andromeda sector, the greater whole of the Liberation Fleet has redeployed to Wasat to attend to the first objective world of the Major Order directly. The situation on the ground is that the weakened strategic positioning of the automatons is completely overwhelmed. The bots were barely holding their ground before, and now they just had a good chunk of the Helldiver Corps kick in their front door like a mix of a pub crawl, a home invasion, and a mosh pit. While it's unlikely to achieve the goal of completely knocking out the automaton STS grid within the timeline presented, Wasat's liberation is projected within 2 Super Earth days, which is a good pace. Secondary targets consist of Relia 5 and Vandalon 4, with smaller deployments in transit to Vega Bay and Astotu. There is still fighting on Astana, but with most of the Helldiver Corps tied up on the Western Front, the Knights of Cold Steel are steadily losing ground despite having about 17% of the Corps reserved to help out. Despite needing to attend to some peripheral liberation just to set the stage before work on the Major Order could even start, by my math, we're right on schedule. Tomorrow should see the Wasat situation improve with a little work on Virelia 5 for extra credit just to impress the teacher. I am, however, concerned about a strategic vulnerability on Seif's side. Matar Bay is acting as a crossroads to ferry supplies, manpower, and fleet movement to the northeastern Ymir sector. Should that fall under attack, the Liberation Fleet could be stuck there. Again. And if someone as blonde as me noticed that, you can bet your bottom super credit that it's definitely on the bot's positronic mind, so keep an eye on it. Now, before I close out the show, there's a loadout from the low-sodium Helldiver Reddit boards off the GWW that I want to suggest to you. The railgun is an item of some degree of controversy, and many a rookie Helldiver has had their first experience with the slug flinger rather abruptly end with it detonating in their faces faster than you can say on safe mode, what's that? But many regard it as the premier way to delete devastators of any flavor faster than any other method, as well as poke out the eyes of Hulks. However, it does extremely low durable damage, which means it just doesn't hurt things with multiple parts, like gunship engines, very much. Basically, the slug just hyperpenetrates and smashes through one side and right out the other, doing minimal internal damage. To that end, I would suggest a Scorcher for your primary. It might take a full clip, but it can down gunships, just in a very uneconomical way when it comes to ammo expenditure. The Scorcher is considered a wonder weapon against bots, but is hamstrung by that economy. To solve this, grab yourself a supply backpack. The railgun also tends to suck when it comes to ammo economy as well, so this backpack will benefit both items rather nicely. To finish out the build, grab a shield gen bubble. This stratagem is drastically underrated and has been key to many divers turning their situation around from ambush to cybernetic butt whooping. There's also a lot of cover that doesn't protect you from gunships as well, and once they're locked onto you, they will never leave you alone until you or they are dead. A shield bubble can give you a momentary breather to reload your weapons, call in supplies, and then remind the automaton flying circus that gravity is a cruel and unforgiving mistress. After that, grab yourself a 500 kg bomb strike. It's been my observation that there really isn't a bad situation to use one of these, save for heavily forced wars like Gacrux or H-45, but it's going to be primarily useful for busting up factory striders, which is something the rest of your build will struggle with. As for peripherals, I highly favor the verdict. Actually, I have one of these in my studio in case an automaton sympathizer manages to find their way back onto the Mercy. It downs skinny bots with great accuracy, usually only taking one shot to their center of mass, and really saves your bacon when dealing with a berserker conga line. Aim down the sights, fan the trigger, count to 9, repeat. Really useful if your other weapons have splash damage, and that's making the idea of CQC a little unsavory. Stun grenades also come highly recommended. The clumsy walking motion Hulks and other automatons engage in does tend to make their weak spots a little hard to hit because they're constantly swaying from side to side. So the ability to make them stop for a few seconds gives you the chance to poke out a Hulk's eye, reload your weapon, get some distance, or just say fluff it and drop a 500 on their head. That's been Liberty's latest with me, Pondera, the radio angel, and I'm about to turn things over to the night crew. It looks to be a wonderful week of sending clankers back to the scrap pile, and the return of freedom to the Ymir sector. I have to say I'm really enjoying this sector of space a lot more from this side of the blockade, and it shouldn't be long before the Automaton Collective is reduced to nothing more than a bad memory. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for Super Earth.